Hey there, Root Beer. What have you got? Glad you asked. I've got question number 24 on the 2007 Grade 8 Gauss. Hopefully you've given this a try. If not, feel free to pause the video. You can get a copy of the contest by clicking the very first link in the description and try question 24 out for yourself. Okay? Good? Done? Let's get into it. What does question 24 have for us? A lattice point is a point x comma y with x and y both integers. For example, 2, 3 is a lattice point because both 2 and 3 are integers, but 4, 1/3 is not. 1/3 is not an integer. Even though 4 is, doesn't count as a lattice point. In the diagram, how many lattice points lie on the perimeter of the triangle? All right, so here's our triangle. And we've got some lattice points, 2, 1, 12, 21, 17, 6. Okay, how many more could there be? Now, depending on where you are in your education level, you might know things like the equation of a line. I'm going to do this without equation of a line because back in the day that was not taught until grade 9 for me. So how are we going to do this? How are we going to count the lattice points? Well, we're just going to draw this picture a little bigger and we're going to work out how exactly these lines are being created. Okay, not with any algebraic equations or anything like that. We're just going to, let's see, just draw a big triangle. There we go. So we have, I don't even know what that was. So we have 17, no, it's 12, 17 up top. So there's 12, 17. It was 2, 1. Oh, wait, no, this one was 17. It's 21 up there, I think it was. And then I cannot remember what the other 2, 1, 12, 21, and 17, 6. All right, there we go. Okay, how are we going to count lattice points here? Well, how do these lines work? Well, to go from 2 to 1, or sorry, to go from 2, 1 to 12, 21, what we effectively do is we go over by a distance of 10, and we go up by a distance of 20. Okay? So every time I go over 1, a whole number, I go up by 2 whole numbers. So I go from 2, 1, over by 1, and up by 2, to 3, 3. I go over by 1 and up by 2. I get 4, 5. Then I get 5, 7. And I can work them all out here. Or I could realize the pattern and count them out, but I think I'm going to draw them all out just to illustrate that this really is how it all works. So 5, 7, we have 6, 9, 7, 11, 8, 13, 9, 15, 10, 17, 11, 19. Over by 1, up by 2. And then you can see that this really did work because now we go over by 1 and up by 2 and we get 12, 21. Okay? So by writing them all out, I'm going to be able to count them at the end rather than try and do some fancy counting argument with this side, some counting argument with this side, and then mess up in terms of counting the end points, the vertices, because they count as well. Okay. So now let's get rid of the 10 and the 20. Alright, so now we'll pick another side, and well, first of all, we'll draw that side again. But we'll pick another side, and we're going to count the lattice points there as well. Alright, how about 2, 1 to 17, 6? How does that work? So to go from 2 to 17, we go all the way over by 15. To go from 1 to 6, we go up by 5. Okay. So this tells me if I go over by 1, I go up by 1/3 because 5 here is 1/3 of 15. So over by 1, up by 1/3, but that's not going to get me to a lattice point. That's going to get me to 3 and 4/3. That's not a lattice point. What can we do? Have we done something wrong? Can we just not do it this time? Not at all. Okay. Okay, you can experiment a little bit. You'll find that you have to go over 3 times till you get to another lattice point. And you can either see that by saying, oh, we go up by a third each time, so we need to go 3 times to get a whole. Or you could, instead of saying go over by 1 and up by an amount, you could realize that 5 times 3 is 15. So if you go up by 1 and over by 3, you'll get to a lattice point. Okay? But either way, we can start counting the lattice points. Up by 1, over by 3, you'll get 5, 2. Up by 1, over by 3, you'll get 8, 3. Up by 1, over by 3, you'll get 11, 4. Up by 1, so it'll end in a 5. And over by 3, you'll get 14, 5. So there's some more lattice points for us. Okay. And the last one. Between 17.6 and 12.21. What are we to do there? The exact same sort of work will do just fine. So to go from 12 to 17, we go over by 5. To go from 6 up to 21, we go up by 15. So now what's going to happen? Well, we go back by 1 and up by 3. Back by 1, up by 3. Back by 1, up by 3. Okay. So we'll have 16, 9. 15, 12. 14, 15. And finally, we'll squeeze it in here, 13, 18, and the next one over would be 12, 21. Okay, now we've got all our lattice points. Let's just count them off. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. 20 lattice points. Okay, and is 21 of the answers? I hope it is, otherwise we've miscounted something. But there it is. It's C. So we'll record C on our sheet. And that's it. We've got one more question to go. Question number 25. I hope to see you there. Until then, take care. That wasn't supposed to rhyme, but it did.